Hey there, welcome to part one of the Savage Scans ATM reversal scan training video from tricktrades.com. In this video, we're going to take a look at a day's worth of scan results from this Thursday, and we're going to go through them, and we're just going to basically look for triggers. This is a trading strategy, and this strategy ties in very, very closely to the work that Pat does with all his students, and the four of the basic setups that we really teach and drill here, which is the double bottom, the double top, the high low, and the low high. The reason we really teach these setups is because they're low risk, high reward setups. They're easy to spot, they're not complicated, they don't require any complex technical analysis in order to see them, and as I say, they provide a very good risk to reward. And the idea of this scan is that it provides hits on stocks that have filled certain criteria that basically offers a high percentage chance of a reversal. Now, obviously, we're going to say what the criteria is. If you've bought the scans, and you'll be able to look anyway. But the point is when something's overextended and certain criteria within this scan are met, that it does have a good chance of reversing, and it depends on the market conditions on the day. If as to whether the top reversals will be better, the bottom reversals will be better, but ultimately it's a very strong setup, and traditionally people have traded these sort of scans using just based on five-minute candlestick, usually looking for the 5-minute doji. However, over the last sort of 4 months, since 4 or 5 months ago, I did a training video on how I thought this scan could be used. This was a very early base version of the scan, very different from the one I've got now, and that was based on candlesticks. And I think the problem I found with it is sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. It can be wishy-washy. I don't think you should put everything into a candle, so I kind of changed a few things. I rebuilt the scan. I looked at what we could do to make it better and the strategy better. And I think since I started myself learning these basic setups, about 3 months ago, when Pat really started pushing these setups, that these were the setups we should learn and focus on, I realized pretty quickly that, hey, this strategy of the high lows, low highs, double bottom, double tops ties in really closely with the scan that I'm building at the moment, and it would be the perfect strategy to accompany the scan, and the scan would be the perfect accompaniment to this type of strategy. And so that's kind of what I've been working on over the last couple of months, is bringing it all together. So that's what we're going to look at today, is how the two fit together and how we can identify the setups. Because when something hits this scan, it's not Wayfair has hit the scan, go short Wayfair. Okay, that's not what it's about. No. It's not Foot Locker, Twillo's hit the thing, hit the scan, blah blah. It's not a case of it hits the scan, you take it. This scan is providing high probability setups, but before you take the trade, we need to know what we're looking for. Okay, and we're looking for triggers. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through the results from the scan, and we're going to look, first of all, was there a trigger? If not, we're going to leave it and move on. Is there a trigger? If there is, we're going to look at what the trigger was, okay, and do some do some quick analysis on the trigger. Okay, so we're going to start with CEIN, which was from 10:09. Okay, the first one hit on the topping tail 5-minute candle recognition, which is quite a strong reversal signal, which is the topping tail. Okay, and then it hit the reversal off the whole number version 2 a couple of minutes later. Okay, So this is what we're looking at, this section here. Now I've got this in 2 minute and I've got it also in 1 minute, because for trading these, I've been sort of noticing of late that sometimes, and quite often actually, the 2 minute, not the 3, but the 2 minute chart works perfectly with this particular setup. It offers just the right candles. I really like it. However, I do have a 1 minute on also, and I also have a 5 minute on the chart when I'm trading stocks from this scanner, and I think it really helps to cement, especially the 2 and the 5. It really helps cement the trade. Okay, so let's look at CN. Okay, alert hit here, 10:08, 10:09. Okay, right on this candle. So what were we looking for? Well, on the 2 minute we got this nice candle here. Okay. We got a seller's candle essentially on the 2 minute chart. But so that's, for me, the reason it's a trigger is because it's off the whole number. Okay, that's the first thing, is it's off a whole number. It never actually made the whole number. The whole number is here. There's your whole number. That's as far as that candle got. Look, seller's candle doesn't make the whole number. That tells me relative weakness. If we go down to the volume, we get descending volume. You see the volume's descending there. So we've got a signal here to go short because it couldn't get to the whole number. So you could take it short here on this candle. Your full position, risking off high of day, the whole number, plus your wiggle room, 10 cents, 5 cents, whatever you want. I think if it goes through by 10 cents, it's going to carry on. So give yourself the right amount of wiggle room on it. I would probably look at 10, maybe 15 cents on it. Depends how you feel about the stock and how it's trading, you know. You could take your position here on this candle, but the setup that we're really looking for, which is what we teach here, is we really push that you should let a stock prove itself to you before taking it. The only reason I would possibly take a starter, a feeler on this, is because it's off the whole number and it looks tired. So potentially you could take a starter position of 100 or 200 shares here. But what we're looking for is this here. This is what we're looking for. This is the lower high. Okay, this is the lower high. This is the setup that confirms that the stock is probably going to come down now. All right. The reason it confirms it is because it's failed to make the whole number. It's pulled back. It's held around the moving average 9. It's tried to push back up again. Okay, and you'll notice what's happened. It's failed. It couldn't even push back up to the high of day. It fails on this candle here. This candle is actually a little bit lower. Okay, and this candle is lower again. So you start getting lower lows on the wicks. So this is where you take the bulk of your trade, or all of your trade is on the lower high, and then you risk off your whole number. You'll see in the case of this, it fails. Well, it works for us, but it fails. The stock fails and it pulls back. Okay, and we get around between a point and a 0.25 roughly per share of this trade, and this particular trade is what I've just done on the trading video for this, which is part 2, which I did first. So this is what we're going to be focused on. We're going to be focusing on lower highs, higher lows, double tops, i.e. if it had come back up and tested and failed, and double bottoms. Okay, very clear to see and pretty easy to take, really. I know I see a lot of people say, well, which candle do you take it on? I don't understand. Well, you take it on, you wait for the top candle to come in. If we put this straight, you wait for the top candle to come in, and then the next candle, look, can't make a higher high. It gets stuck. So you could take it on somewhere on this candle, or this candle here. I mean, this candle, that basically tells you it's you know, it couldn't even push that high. So somewhere around here, you need to let it confirm first. You don't want to get it on this candle or that candle because they're making higher highs. This one doesn't, it flat tops, and this one makes a lower high. So again, it's a lower high looking at a lower high. You have to keep looking at pieces of the puzzle. So maybe taking it on this candle here, risking off your whole dollar plus wiggle room. Okay, so that's CN, and that worked out rather nicely. Exit, well, you would exit via your own strategy. Probably take some off on this push here, take off a few more on your wash, set your stop, take off some more here, whatever. You have to have your own exit strategy. Obviously I have an exit strategy in the kill zone DVD. You can use that on the 1 minute, the 2 minute, the 5 minute. It really is all depending on your trading style, and it all works the same. Okay, so the next one is WUBA, W-U-B-A. Let's have a look at WUBA. Let's see if we get an let's zoom in on this because it's a slightly different one. So with WUBA, there is a signal, but it's a little bit more subtle. So we get a lower high, but a very subtle one. We don't get the nice push up, blah blah blah, but we get this candle here, and then we get this lower high on this candle here. If you were watching it and you fancied giving it a shot, you could obviously take it because you've got 3 candles there where it's failed to push the high. Okay, so weakness. You could take it basically as it comes down below here. Depends how focused you are. You know, if you're watching it for a more clear signal, like a very defined lower high, then you would have missed it. If you had it on your chart and you were watching it tick by tick, then you might have noticed that, and you might have taken it somewhere around here, of risking off high of day. Okay. Again, in nice instant fast resolution on WUBA. A big wash candle here, paying yourself on this wash candle, taking some off. Another wash candle, take a few more off there, and then start taking some more off along here. Okay, so again, not such a clear signal, but definitely we found the exact top on WUBA. 77.50 was the alert. It hit 77.60. You can probably take it as it came back through the 77.50, risking off high of day, so 10 to 15 cent risk on that trade, and it worked out nicely. Around about 2 points per share on this, if you'd held it down into here. Okay, if you'd held a quarter down into these areas, 2 points per share on WUBA. For Twitter. Let's take a look at Twitter. So Twitter really peaks out up here. Let's have a look if there's a signal for Twitter. Well, we get this candle here, which kind of tells us there's a lot of weakness. However, it's not the clearest of signals. This is a better signal on the 1 minute because we get this big candle and then we get this lower high here. Okay, do we get that on the 2 minute, the lower high? We kind of do, but it's not so clear. We get one there. This is why I like to watch 2 time frames. Here we get a clear lower high. So here's your high. Here's your lower high. You see the lower high quite clearly. So that's what we're looking for, and if you don't keep your eyes peeled, if you don't focus, you're not going to see them. But after a while, you'll notice every single one. Okay, it's a very clear lower high. It pushes, it fails, it pulls back. Okay, you get this slightly bullish candle here. Okay, you get a red buyer's candle, and it pushes, and it fails. Okay, it cannot repush to the high of day. Now your risk on this is only, it's 5 cents. Okay, risk into there maybe 10 cents. All right, on Twitter, it makes 50 cents. Twitter on that drop makes 50 cents. You're risking at most 10 to make 50. Okay, another solid 5 to 1 trade off the lower high. Let's look at Wayfair. There's two trades. I mean, I don't know when you're looking at this whether you spot two trades there, but I spot two very clear and obvious trades. I'm going to expand it. First of all, we've got a lower high. Okay. Let's have a look at the 1 minute too. We've got a very clear lower high look. We'll go to the 2 because it's just as clear. Oops. We'll stick it on the 1. Here's our top. So when you're playing this scan, when you're using the scan, you wanna mark the top. As soon as it tops and pulls back, you're marking your top. Now there's no obvious entry here on the top. It's not close enough to the whole dollar to give it a crack for my liking. So, yep, it's pulling back. Okay, what normally happens when something pulls back from a high like that is after it's had a good run up, is it wants to push back up again. In this case, it doesn't make it. So we get our lower high. Lower high setup, taking the trade somewhere in here. Okay, pushes back up. You might have taken a few off there. Second lower high here, which is a really good sign if you're in the trade. A second lower high. Risk somewhere down there, let's say 135.50. You're risking around 40 cents. 40 cents per share on a $135 stock. Now, you get a nice big wash. Okay, after that lower high, after the second one, nice big wash down to here. Okay, and there. So in this particular one, we get 2 points. Getting in somewhere around here, there's around 2 points to down here. Okay, so let's mark that up. A lower high. A second lower high. Another opportunity to get in if you're not already in. Okay. Now, what do we find here? Any particular reason? Not really. So, assuming you've paid yourself on some down here, we're still holding position. Okay, it fails to hit VWAP, so we're still short. However, anybody that's sharp and eagle-eyed might here think, hello? Put in a higher low. Bear in mind you're up a couple of dollars per share. Might be a time to take them off and reverse your bias because you get a perfect higher low. Now, these higher lows and lower highs, when they happen, they don't fail too often. They're very strong signals, but you've got to be eagle-eyed and you've got to be able to recognize them. There is a very clear higher low. Now, if you've taken that higher low, you've got another dollar per share at $1.20, $1.30 per share by reversing bias up to the top, and then at the top you get a double top here and a rejection to tell you that the trade's probably over. There's probably people that would take it short again. You know, things like this, you can ride them all day if you really want to, if you're focused. I see plenty of people in our chat room just literally finding something off the scan, take it long, take it short, take it long, take it short, really milk it through the day, just by being focused and always recognizing changes of trend via setups. So Wayfair worked out really well for us. 2 trades on Wayfair. Twitter, we've already looked at. GKOS. GKOS. So, looking from afar, GKOS 1030, any trigger? I don't see any triggers in there, nothing at all. It did alert us to a high after that, but no triggers for me, so wouldn't have been, after this little area of chop there, no thank you. I would be taking that off my watch. SQ. I'm going to put this up because I know Michelle did actually take this trade, and it was the reason she took it, I guess, was it was coming into a whole number of 89 here, which was strong. Okay, it was very strong coming into the whole number, so worth giving a shot, and she did make on it. She did okay. The only thing you did get the fake out here, and it did fake you out, because SQ can be a bit fakey. If you trade stocks enough, you'll come to know sometimes some stocks are just fakey buggers, and SQ is fakey, and it did fake, but Michelle had she gave it enough wiggle room, and that was, in this case, it worked out well that she stuck in there. I think she was going to give it maybe 30 cents of play, because knowing what SQ trades like, and obviously she managed to keep in, and she took her covers around here. So SQ did work. However, for me, apart from the double top, there isn't a real trigger on SQ. I didn't like it at the time. We were contemplating putting it out as a trade alert on Twitter. We put out CIEN, and then a little bit later on, we looked at this, and I said, no, I don't fancy it. I don't fancy SQ for a trade alert. All it's got going for it at the moment is a whole number. I like to see something a bit more. So it did work out, but we didn't put it out, and for me, there's no real trade trigger there. So I'm not going to count SQ as one of the winning trades from today, because it didn't really trigger for me. Okay, DVA. $10.40, which is around here. No trigger for me. Let's just take a close look. But for me, nothing obvious for reversal. That's not obvious enough. If you are still watching it, it does hold a base level there, so you could take the fact that it's held a base level. It put in as buyer's candle here when it broke the base level. You might have taken that. I'm not going to count it, but you might have done. Let's see if it was any different on the one. Not really. Even worse. For me, I'm not going to count it. I wouldn't have kept watching it, to be honest. So we won't count that one. FL, Foot Locker. Now, I know Foot Locker did, because we took it in the chat room. A couple of the guys took Foot Locker, and they made good money off Foot Locker. Now, looking from afar, what can we see? Actually, can you see on 2 days? Can you see in 2 days how this behaves? So we'll take a look at this, actually, because this was from Friday too. This is how strong the higher low setup is. Can you see the higher low? Okay, that's what we're going to look at. So this is the alert on Foot Locker 11:16. It comes in here, but we keep watching it. Okay, let's zoom back out, because like I said, this isn't just a type of scan where you take it as soon as you see the alert. It gave us the alert 11:16 down here. Okay, but it's not ready. And we were in the chat room, and somebody said, hey, what do you think of Foot Locker off the ATM scan? And we did it live on screen share. We put it up, and we talked through it, basically. Okay, and we said, no, not quite yet, not quite yet, not quite yet. And it got down to here, and I said, right, okay, let it prove itself. Don't take it yet. Okay, it needs to put in a double bottom at this point, or a higher low. And that's exactly what it did. So if we zoom in there. So this was the bottom here. We'll put a mark for the bottom area. And this was the higher low. Okay, now let's mark it up. There we go. So that is a confirmed high low. Now I know that Daniel and a couple of other people took this trade in a room, and we literally walked through it step by step. A positive, strong, higher low signal. Entry was there, and on Footlocker we got around 50 cents per share on the first lot of shares. Now let's zoom out. And the reason Daniel took it off was because of this, and it was a good eye. It made a lower high. So time to exit most of your shares and leave the rest to see what they're going to do. Give them a bit of room. Lower high, and then it makes another lower high here. And at this point Daniel took off his shares and we talked it through, and he went short. Okay, reversed bias and went short on this lower high here. So this is how you can use it. Once you're in and you get something that's moving around through the day, you can go long to short to long to short off that higher low there, risking off this little area here. Made another 60 cents, playing it down to the low of day, taking off there. Okay, strong signals, higher low, lower highs. Okay, always watch for lower highs and higher lows. They're a very strong reversal signal. Double bottoms are okay. I'll take a lower high and a higher low any day of the week though. Now if we zoom out and we look at this one here, as another perfect example of the higher low working. Higher low number 1, higher low number 2, resolution in the trade. This is all you need to learn. This is a complete trading strategy within itself. Okay, you take a look at the scan result, you put it on your chart. If it's not ready, you put it on a side chart, and you'd maybe choose 4 of them or 6 of them depending on how much chart space you have, and you keep watching, and all you have to do is recognize a higher low, lower high. If that's all you recognize, you're going to do well with this scan. You have to be patient though. You have to wait for it to happen. You have to wait for the lower high, high low to confirm itself. Okay? Always let the trade prove itself to you first. Don't second guess it. Don't think, oh, I think it's going to go up. I think it's going to go down, because it really doesn't matter what you think. I mean, the stock market doesn't give 2 shits what you think. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant what you think. All that matters is what does the chart tell you. And once the chart tells you that this has tried to push, it's failed at the moving average 20, it's tried to come back down again, it's been bought up, okay, it can't make the low of day, that tells me, and it should tell you that, hang on, there's a little bit of relative strength in it. It might want higher. After the big sell-off, maybe this is the reversal. And that's exactly what's happened again. Let's put another one of these in. There's your higher low, and there's your resolution, 48.72 to 49.30. Okay, a 60 cent gain toward the end of the day on Footlocker. Okay, so you're starting to get the gist of this, I'm sure. Twillo. Twillo, 1120. No signal on Twillo. No high or low. Okay, nothing for me there. Momo. 1145. Bottom reversal. No signal. No signal. No real signal for me. So we didn't take the trade. Okay, no signal, we don't take it. BZUN. 1145. No signal. PDCE. Signal. High or low. Okay, you see the high or low there. A line. High or low. Now the thing about this is it's not hindsight. All you have to do is watch. All you have to do is put your line in and watch. By this candle here, you've had 1, 2, 3, 4. You've had 5 candles. That's 10 minutes to notice that it's holding a higher low position. That's all you have to notice. It's holding a higher low. Take it here when it reclaims the 9. Okay? 51.50s. Risking off 51.30s. You're only risking 20 to 25 cents per share on a $50 stock. Okay? You take the higher low, and look, we play it up to the perfect tag of the VWAP. And that is around 70 cents per share for a nice easy run up to the VWAP. Let's mark it. So you start to see what I'm seeing here is some days you'll get a lot of results on this depending on what market's doing, because the scanning itself is based around 5-minute candles. Because of that, when the market puts in consecutive amounts of 5-minute candles, if that matches the scanner's requirements for 5-minute candles, you will find a lot of stocks follow the market. So you will then get stocks putting in the same amount of 5-minute candles, which will start to hit the scan. Now, there's nothing you can do about it. You might get more false results. All you have to do really is look for overextension. Okay, 5-minute consecutive candles, if they're tiny, you won't get much extension, and you'll instantly know this isn't worth looking at. If you get 5 big, I'm sorry, it's not 5, but that's just an example. But if you were to get 5 big 5-minute candles, that would represent more extension. So ultimately, you would have more of a chance of finding the reversal. So then you would put your line in, then you would put it on a chart and watch for your high or low, your low or high. In the case of this, you probably take some off here as it fails to break the moving average 50. You might take some more off there in case it's going to fail, but then it eventually starts to work. You leave a few on and take your last ones off when it fails to breach the VWAP. Okay, that's PDCE and TNDM. Do we get a signal? Top reversal, TNDM, no lower highs, around here. ETSY we get the lower high. You're probably getting bored of me saying this, which is why we're going to keep it quick, but this is what we're looking for, and it needs to be drilled in. Lower highs, higher lows. Okay, let's take a quick look at this, and then we can wrap it up. Okay, we've got our top in here at 49, so it's a play off the whole dollar, which means it's a very strong high odds play. You could take your first lot of shares here. Let's look at the 1 minute. Okay, zoom in on the 1 minute. Again, you get this nice doji candle here. It can't break the high. again, well, I'm going to go to the 2 just because I prefer it. Doji on the 2-minute candle there, okay, and then a gravestone doji. These are negative candles, okay. It's failed to hurt. It's failed to break 49. It's put this candle in. You're taking some here around 48.94s, risking off 49.10. Absolutely no risk whatsoever. Okay, 200-300 shares. You've got really low risk. You could put 100 shares in here and then say I'm going to let it go, or take the lower high. What do we get in here? We get the lower high. Okay, you could say this is the lower high here, and then it fakes you out, but that's okay because we're risking off the high of day, so you're not going to take your shares off. That one doesn't work. This one comes up, but this is a little bit better because we get the nice big candle down after it. Okay, so we're taking this here. Let it confirm. Okay, let it confirm. Let it come down. Take some. Maybe take it here. If you really want to let it confirm, take it there. It's broken the moving average 9. The moving averages have crossed over. It's now in a downtrend. The moving averages are in order, and once we get to here, the moving averages are in proper order. Okay, so we're in a proper downtrend. So we've taken this again on the low high. Take some here on the rejection. Add to it here, up to your full size once the trade has proven itself to you. I know this is boring and I'm saying the same thing over and over again. However, hopefully by the time you've watched this 36 boring minutes of me going on about lower highs and higher lows, hopefully it will be drilled into you so much that when you look at this scan, all you will be looking for is lower highs and higher lows and whole numbers, because that's all I want you to look at. I want you to look for whole numbers, double top rejections, which we haven't got on this particular day, but that would be coming up, rejecting the double top and coming back, taking your shares there. Maybe a starter if it's a whole number, add to it on that rejection and down. If it's not a whole number, obviously you wouldn't be taking there, you would be waiting for it to come up, waiting for your signal, and there it would be. Okay, so double tops, double bottoms where it comes down, tests and goes, but the best ones are the lower highs and the higher lows, because that's truly proving itself to you, and it's showing relative strength stroke relative weakness. Okay, there's your lower high, and there's your play down to the VWAP. Okay, playing that down to the VWAP on Etsy is 80 cents per share. Okay, so hopefully that sums up the strategy for the ATM reversal scan. Get plenty of use from it. This is, in my opinion, this is my personal favorite scan. I love this scan just because the risk to reward of really strong set support and resistance is so good. It's such strong support and resistance that once you get that pattern, well, you can see on this we've had 50%, so we've had 14 alerts, 14 scanner hits. 7 of them produced triggers, okay, which is 50%. 50% of what's on here produced triggers, of which 100% of the triggers worked out, providing anything from 50 cents a share to 2 points per share. So I would say that makes this scan pretty solid. Okay, and the strategy that goes with it, focusing on these setups, makes it worth its weight in gold. So have fun with it, enjoy it, focus on the setups, trade small, trade safe, build up slowly, start with 20 shares, 10 shares, whatever. Okay, get used to it, build up your strategy, build up your entry strategy, build up your exit strategy, and then slowly but surely size up 20 shares to 30 shares to 40 shares to 50 shares, so on and so forth, so that at each level you're completely comfortable with your risk, because you need to risk off the lows or the highs. Okay, you're always comfortable with your risk, Okay, you're always comfortable with your share size, and at no point should you be sat there sweating away thinking, God, this is uncomfortable. I don't want you thinking that you're in pain. Okay, so always size in accordingly. Work out what your risk is and size in accordingly with the right amount of shares, so that if you do get stopped out, it's never gonna hurt you. It might hurt your pride a little bit, but it won't hurt your trading account. Okay, so that's that. Thank you for seeing it through to the end. Hopefully that was helpful to you. So use part 2, which is the TOS trade, the on-demand trade, which just shows you basically what we've looked at, how it might work out. Use the two of them, add that to the scan, and there you have a strategy that's been, I've spent hundreds and hundreds of hours building the scan and refining the scan, and also a good amount of time that's gone into incorporating it into a strategy that, obviously that Pat has taught me, that we're teaching other people. It fits, it dovetails together. Okay, don't forget, if you're looking for the best trading education and the best mentor in Pat Mitchell and the best group of people that you're ever going to come across, come and join us in chat at tricktrades.com. You'll absolutely love the chat room. We have scanners on screen share also. We have a great bunch of people. We have a good laugh. We have a good time. We trade on screen share. Okay, Pat trades in the mornings on live on screen share, and then I do the afternoon session. We do a lot of education in the afternoons. We go through trades together. We review trades. We get into trades together. We exit them together. It's just it's the most amazing chat room. So if you're not already a member, then come and give us a go for a few months. We have an amazing mentor program. You'd absolutely love it. So come and give us a go. Come and give us 3 months of your time, and you'll see how much it will change your trading. That's it for me now. For now, have a look at video number 2, and I will speak to you again soon. Hopefully I will see you in the chat room. Thanks for now. Toodles.